Who is the thief? While King Prasenajit was ruling the city of Sravasti, a destitute Brahman came to that city in search of livelihood. Fortunately for him, he found favor with the rich merchants there. Besides enough for food and clothing, he accumulated a good deal of money. He converted all this money into 1,000 gold pieces and secretly buried it at a certain place in the woods. Every day he used to go to the woods and make sure that no one touched his treasure. But one day the Brahmin went to the spot as usual and found that his treasure was missing. At once the poor Brahmin went crazy with sorrow. He ran to the city crying loudly, beating his chest and telling everyone that his gold was stolen. Seeing no one to share his great sorrow, the Brahmin decided to fall into the river and end his life. King Prasenajit, who was returning from a bath in the river, met him and learnt about the tragedy that befell the Brahmin. Why do you want to kill yourself, O Brahmin? Said the king. I am here to inquire into any theft that is committed in this kingdom. I shall restore your lost treasure or compensate you from my treasury. Now tell me whether there was any mark to indicate the spot where you buried the gold. Yes, sir. There was a wild neem plant over my treasure. Now that too is gone, replied the Brahman. There may be many such plants in the woods. How can that be a proper mark? Said the king. No, sir. This was the only wild neem plant in the entire vicinity, the Brahman replied. Now tell me, could anyone have known that you have hidden your gold in the woods? Asked the king. Not a soul, nor did anyone follow me to the woods, the Brahman replied. The king went to his palace and thought over the problem till he found a way to catch the man who took the gold. He called his minister and said to him, I do not feel quite well. I should like to see some doctors. Can you please arrange to bring to me every doctor in the city? It was soon done. All the doctors assembled outside the king's private chamber. As each doctor was ushered in, the king asked him, Who are your patients? What medicines have you given them? The doctors answered these questions and the king sent them away. At last, one doctor said, Sir, yesterday I gave the juice of a wild neem plant to the rich merchant, Rajshekar Dutt. The king immediately got interested and said, I see. Where could you get this plant? Sir, it is not a common plant in these parts. My servant found it in the woods after a great deal of searching, replied the doctor. We would like your servant to present himself before us at once, the king told the doctor. Soon the doctor's servant was standing before the king. What did you do with the gold which you found when you dug up the wild neem plant? The king asked him. The doctor's servant turned pale at this question. Shivering with fear, he replied, I kept it safe in my house, your majesty. That is fine, said the king. That gold belongs to such and such a Brahman. Restore it to him at once. The servant took leave, feeling as though he had been saved from the gallows. Now, the minister was watching the entire proceedings without understanding a thing. He was very much impressed with the ease with which the king laid his hands on the real culprit. He wanted to know how the king could do it. The king smiled at the minister's question and said, My job was to find out which one out of the entire population of the city could have dug up that gold. According to the Brahman, nobody knew that there was gold under the plant. So whoever thought of digging at that spot must have done so for the plant but not for the gold. There was no such plant anywhere else in the neighborhood. So if anyone did need the plant, he had to dig only where the gold was hidden. Had anyone dug only for the gold, he would have thrown the plant away. Unless the man came for the plant, both the plant and the gold need not have disappeared. Now, who would be in need of a wild neem plant except a doctor? What all I had to do was to call up all the doctors in the city and find out which of them used this plant for medicinal purposes. The minister was amazed at the powers of detection displayed by King Prasenajit. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Do provide your feedback in the comment section below. Thanks for listening.